Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie. And let's get started and let's make some fun Christmas movie inspired DIYs. We're going to start off with Frosty the Snowman. DIY, you're going to take the twine and some of this nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, just one pack. And it comes in 13 feet, but you're going to twist it off and undo the threads, and you're going to have 3 ropes instead of 1. So instead of having 11 feet of one thick rope, you're going to have 11 feet of thin rope. So you'll have 33 feet total, but you're only going to use 2 of the bundles, actually 1.5. So, well, depending on the container size that you have. So here I have an empty container from a protein drink that we like to drink, and I'm just going to repurpose it, so that's free. And I'm just going to start by putting a bead of glue and some rope, another bead of glue next to it, some twine, and I'm just going to wrap this whole rope and twine around the whole container. And so here it is, all wrapped up. And the lid is functional, it comes off easy. The lid is going to be the hat for the snowman. And so here I'm taking these 2 smaller lids from these smaller containers that we had from some bone broth, and I'm gluing the 2 small lids onto each other to make a thicker, higher lid to be the top hat portion of it. Removing all the excess glue, and all I'm going to do now is glue this double lid portion onto the top of the existing lid on this container, so it'll give you the look of a hat. So now I'm going to take some of this red and white buffalo check ribbon that's from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut up enough to create a scarf for the snowman, but it's a little bit thick, so I fold it down, and thank goodness it works fine because it is wired. So I just wrap it around the body of the snowman, and I add a couple beads of glue to keep it in place, and it's as easy as that for his little cute scarf. So I just add one little bead of glue to hold down one portion, and I add another bead of glue to hold the other portion. So I'm just keeping it simple, and you can totally embellish these little snowmen any way you'd like, any colors you'd like, any ribbon you'd like. And so now I'm going to take a little piece of this ribbon, I cut it in half this time, just to go around the top hat portion of his little hat, just to cover up the fact that there's 2 lids making the top portion of the hat where I had glued it together. So it's going to kind of conceal that portion, and also giving it a little decorative touch for his hat. So just a couple little beads of glue and it'll be put in place just fine. And I do end up hiding that little seam with a little snowflake, a little wooden snowflake from the Dollar Tree. So I just put a little bit of hot glue and just conceal that little seam. So his little hat is done. And you can add berries to it if you like, or you can add green foliage or evergreen. So here I'm taking these black thumbtacks that I had purchased at the Dollar Tree before, and I'm just going to add these for his eyes. And you just got to put a little bit of pressure because you're going to go through the container. You're going to go through the rope, the twine, and the container. But it doesn't go too far deep in there. It holds it just fine. And so I'm adding these little black thumbtacks for his eyes, his buttons, and then eventually his little smile. I use them for his little smile as well. And once I get his smile completed, he looks super cute, and all he needs is a little nose. So I take a little gold thumbtack and I just press it in there for his nose. I do go back and paint that in a second. So I go ahead and take some of these wooden mittens from the Dollar Tree, and since they're both the same direction, so that's kind of a bummer, but I put one on the side that is the correct direction, and then I take another one, and I don't show it here, but I end up making the same pattern as the correct direction with a pen. I just make a quick little pattern to match it. So now they match. Now that they're both the correct direction, and I just kind of tuck the little ribbon over his mittens, put a little dab of glue to hold it down, and he's done. Just looking super cute. And the best part about this little snowman is that his hat screws off easily, so it's functional. You could put treats in there for the kiddos or hide mommy's chocolate. Now on to The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Okay, so the first thing I did was I took one of these candy cane wreath forms from the Dollar Tree, and with my wire cutters I opened up the top portion. It was a little bit of a challenge, but some strength and some determination, and it snipped off. As you saw in my preview photo, I decided to recreate the Grinch and his arm and hand and the way he tries to drop the ornaments, and so I decided to incorporate it in a Christmas tree as a part of the whole look. So that is what I decided to make. I just kind of bend it. This is easily bendable, so I just bend it in the shape how I'd like it, kind of make that finger shape. And here I'm taking some of these wired garland ties, and I'm just literally going to wrap each finger in a garland tie. So here I'm just adding some more of those garland ties and trying to conceal all the wire. Okay, so now I'm taking some of the regular garland that the Dollar Tree carries, and I'm going to wrap it around the wrist. So I'm just taking a portion of it, what I think, I kind of guesstimate how much I think I need, and I just wrap it around the other portion of this candy cane wreath form. Okay, so now I'm taking a piece of this microfiber cloth that you find in the automotive department, or the section, not department, section of the Dollar Tree. I do wrap it a couple times just to make it look a little thick, and I add a dab of glue and hold it down, and his little wrist is done. So now I need to add his sleeve. So here I'm taking one of these scarves that they have now. So I pull off the little ball, and all I do is just feed it through and go all the way to where his little cuff is, and add some glue to the bottom. After I get this glue down, his arm is done. Add a couple beads of glue at the wrist, at the cuff, to help hold that down, and some on the other side. And yeah, it's not difficult at all. It's pretty easy. Just a few things. Just a wreath form and some garland ties, some garland, a piece of white fluffy fabric, and one of those scarves, those Santa scarves, some hot glue. That's all you need. And pretty much his hand, wrist, arm, they're pretty much done. Just secure everything really well with some good glue, some hot glue. Check for any openings. And yeah, he's done. Okay, so here I'm taking this Santa Claus plaque from the Dollar Tree, and I'm first going to fill in the little hole with some of the spackle. Wait for that to dry. Wipe off any excess on both sides because I want both sides. And here I went to my printer and printed out this picture from the internet. It's just a picture, and I kind of form it to his form, his face form, and snip off any excess paper that's on there. And I'm going to go in with some Mod Podge and give it a good coating of it, good generous coat. So here I add my picture, and I actually let it dry overnight because when I'm a little bit in a hurry it gets wrinkly. So this is overnight, this is the next day. And here I snip off any excess paper with my scissors, and I'm going to go in with my sandpaper and sand off any of the excess that's on there, because since this particular plaque is kind of contoured all the way around, it's kind of like scalloped all the way around because it's supposed to be Santa's beard. So just take your time with this and just pull off gently and rub with the sandpaper, and just keep going around till you're all done. So now I'm going to take this Kelly green and I'm literally going to paint his whole face, and I actually do 2 coats. So my idea is to paint his whole face green and then go in with a Sharpie and just trace over all the black features on his face. And thank goodness it worked, because that's what I did. And see, and if you have a Cricut, which I do have a Cricut, but I didn't want to use it for this particular one. I wanted to make this DIY friendly for anybody. And even like the kiddos can do this. Have the kiddos paint it and have them trace over with a Sharpie. So simple. But you can definitely do a vinyl from the, you know, with your Cricut, and or you know, whatever. You can paint it with your paintbrush too. Yeah, whatever you feel like you want to do, go for it. So here I'm going to go in with my Sharpie and just literally outline all his features. You can still see it through the paint, so that was a good thing. I think maybe another coat, it probably would have disappeared completely, but 2 coats of this apple barrel Keller green paint was just enough to have a good coverage, and I can still see the outline. So I'm literally just outlining and filling in and taking my time. And again, I'm not an artist, so these outlines really help. They really help. My mother was an artist, my aunt was an artist, and some of my children have the talent, but it totally skipped me. Totally. So outline is what I can do, so that's what I do. So here I'm doing his little mouth. Just keep going on the outline and getting his face done, and look, he's looking like the Grinch. Yes, he is. He's looking like the Grinch. Okay, so now I'm taking the rest of this scarf that I didn't use, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm literally going to feed it through the top. So now he's got a little hat with a little pom-pom on the end, and I'm just literally going to take the excess off, and I'm just going to snip it. I'm going to snip it and fold it under and glue it on. Simple as that. Yeah, this is really a simple DIY. Really simple. So now I'm taking that same cloth that I used for his cuff, for his sleeve cuff, and I'm going to cut about 1.5 inches folded, and I'm going to glue that closed. I'm going to glue it closed. And I was going to put it on like that, but I didn't like the way the little seam was at the bottom, so I'm pressing it so the seam is in the middle of the back. So now I'm putting it around his little head, gluing it down with a little dab of glue, adding the other piece, and look, you can still see Santa. Santa's still good. So glue him down well, and then with the excess piece of the scarf, I go ahead and mend Santa's little hat on that side. That way this sign is reversible. Excuse me. Is reversible, and so you could use Santa on one side and the Grinch on the other. So just add some glue. And I didn't like the way that little seam was looking in the front, so I took a little embellishment, and he's good as new. Good to go. Santa on one side, the Grinch on the other. Okay, so here's my Grinch in my tree, being all Grinchy. Okay, so here's his arm, and I gave him another finger. I just added a garland tie on there, so now he's got the 5 fingers. And I tied him in with 3 zip ties. There's one there, and there's one down in here, and there's another one back in there. And I'll snip those off, but I left them on there for now to show you guys. And then here's his face, his head, and all I did was clip a couple of binder clips, one on his cheek and one on his chin, and I attached this one to a green twist tie, tied it to the tree, and this one I just tied it in with some of the branches. And so here's Santa in the back, unharmed. No harming of Santa in the process. He looks good. And that's it. That's how I got him on there. What do you guys think? And now on to Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. I'm going to use these 2 types of ornaments, these mini ones and then these larger ones from the Dollar Tree, some wire jute twine, and various cutting implements. But I ended up just using these black ones here and the bigger red ones. And then the jute twine did not work out. I ended up using butcher's twine. So, but you'll see that as we progress. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these small ornaments and I'm going to snip off their ends. So for this one, I'll just use these large ones, these large red ones, and then the small black ones is all. So I'll just cut them all. And so once I have all the little ends snipped off, I'll use the tip of my hot glue gun and burn a hole on the opposite side of the existing hole. 6 of the black ones, I won't burn the extra hole. Okay, so here I'm trying to balance my ornaments so they'll stay. So I kind of make like a makeshift little like brace. So I'm going to take 2 of the black ones that I did not make a hole, and I'm going to use those as Mickey ears. So I will glue one on each side of one of the red ornaments to kind of make it look like a Mickey head. And so I'll do that to 3 different ornaments is all. So here's my plan B. Instead of the wire jute twine, I take a skewer, a bamboo skewer, and some of the butcher twine, the black and white butcher twine, and I tie it to the skewer and I add a little bit of glue for extra security so it'll stay, so it won't slip off. And I'm making a makeshift needle to thread my butcher twine through the ornaments. So, and it works pretty well. I'm just working my way through and making the hole a little bit bigger and poking this bamboo skewer through and just threading it. And I'm making sure to alternate the 2 different textures of the larger ornaments, the red ornaments, because some are satin and some are glittery. So I want to make sure it's like a pattern. Okay, here I'm pretty much done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the little ends that I had snipped off the smaller ornaments, and I'm going to thread through this butcher twine to create like the ends of this garland. So I'm just going to tie it and make a good knot, tie it really well, and I use my little skewer to help thread it through because those holes are so tiny, but the little skewer, it works perfect. I get it threaded just right. I'm able to make my knot. I make a double knot and I secure it well. Add a dab of glue as well, just for added reinforcement, and I also add a dab of glue to that end and the ornament at the end just to give it another bit of strength, and I do that to both sides. Here's where I go ahead and take the other 4 mini black ornaments and create the Mickey heads on 2 more of the red large ornaments. And so here's 1 more. Okay, so now I'm taking some of this red ribbon from the Dollar Tree and also this white with black dots. I think this look is very Mickey to me, very Disney, very Mickey. So I'm going to cut 2 of each, and I'm going to do, I think 10 sets, because I want to string these ribbons all throughout the garland. So now I go ahead and join them together and I start to tie them. And since the black and white ribbon is not double-sided, then when I tie it, I have to make sure to twist it. So I give it a little twist, that way you can see the pattern on both sides. And I go ahead and do this to the whole garland and at each black ornament, if that makes sense. And now on to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Okay, so this is probably one of my favorite scenes of this movie. Oh, that crazy Clark Griswold. We are about to recreate him looking into the tree for the squirrel. And this is going to be such an easy DIY, super easy, but so cute. So all I'm doing is taking apart one of these clear ornaments from the Dollar Tree, and it's the larger one. So I just open it up, put it aside, and I'm going to take this plastic. This actually is from a lid from a box of spring mix that my husband and I like to eat. And so I'm going to utilize the clear plastic because it's sturdy and it's thick. So all I'm going to do is snip off a portion of it. I'm not going to bother with the label, just too much trouble. So I'm just taking this portion and I'm going to remove the edges. I don't need them. So I'll remove the edges, and I'm going to create a piece to go into the ornament, and that's why I wanted to use this clear plastic. So it's a great way to recycle, reuse, repurpose, whatever, however you like to say it. So right now I'm going to kind of sort of try to measure approximately how it's going to fit in there, and I'm going to cut this a few times because I don't have an exact measurement. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So I'll first snip off what I know would be too big, and then I'll snip off some more, and then some more, and then some more, until I finally get it to where I can insert it into the ornament. And this method works really well if you want to make your ornament completely see-through and add like a decal, like a vinyl decal. Just add it to this plastic piece, and so once you put it in there, it'll look like it's completely see-through. So for 1 year I created these, and I added nativity decals onto them, onto these plastic pieces, and so once I inserted it, it looked like it was just floating in there. And so I just added a little bit of snow, and it was super cute, super sweet. And here's a picture of it right here. And if you're going to do this, look at the very top. You have to make like a little raised portion so that will fit inside the hole. If not, you'll lose this piece forever in there. So just roll it up. You could roll it up tight. This plastic is very durable. Roll it up tight and stick it in the ornament. And once you place it in there, just let it go and see how it's opened up. But it looks like it still needs to be trimmed more. So thank goodness for that tab up top. You can easily pull it out and adjust, trim some more. This picture is going to go inside the ornament, and when you look in it, it's going to look like Clark Griswold is looking through the tree looking for the squirrel. So I'm using this piece of plastic that I cut, and it's going to be my template to cut this picture a more accurate size. So that way, if I make a mistake, I'll make a mistake on the template, on the clear plastic, and not my photo, because then I'll have to go get another photo done. So this is my template, and so this is my way. So I'll just trim it, and making sure that I don't cut his face, because his face is going to look pretty cool in this ornament. So I'll finish trimming it here, and now just to make sure that it stays on the plastic on my template, I'm going to take a glue stick, and I'm going to glue the photo to the plastic piece, to my template. And so once that's on there, and I know it's adhered and it won't be floating around or moving around, so it doesn't take long. I really don't even wait for it to dry. I just go ahead and just roll it up and put it in my ornament, and I'm done. I'm done. I do add a little bow, but I don't have it on the video, but you'll see it at the end. I do add a little bit of embellishment, a little bit of greenery, a little pine cone, and I'm done. I do go in with a couple of instruments here to help fan it out, to help open it up. And yeah, that's it. Oh, I did trim off a little piece of the top where it was sticking out, where the template was sticking out, and put the little hanger back on. And that's it. My little ornament, my Clark Griswold ornament, looking for the squirrel in the tree. So now when we look at this ornament, we'll remember that movie. And now on to a Charlie Brown Christmas. Okay, so I decided to do the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, but differently. And I wanted to involve my grandchildren because my grandchildren are my world. So all these little handprints are my grandchildren, and they are all my version of the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. And we'll begin with actual footage of acquiring all these little handprints. Oh my goodness, what an adventure.
Oh, that's cold.
Isn't it cold?
Ew. It looks like a zombie.
Okay, we're gonna go quickly, okay? Because this stuff dries quickly. Okay.
Ready? Do it where you want you to.
Right there.
Slowly lift it up.
Lift it up.
Good job.
Okay, you can wash your hand.
And then, what are y'all doing? Now, his may not be the best, but A little bit more to thumb. There we go. Ready?
Okay, some more here.
Okay, ready?
All right, good job.
No.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Yay. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, okay, good. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold still. Yep. Good job. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Is it
Okay, let me
going?
have it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, still, Barb.
Good job.
Good job.
All right. Okay, so here are my little handprints. What an adventure to get them. They were so good though, and they are so cute. And I just love having things like this for future. Okay, so I'm going to begin with drawing the tree trunk with one of these markers, these paint markers by Asani. So now I'm going to go in with this Waverly chalk paint and the color truffle, and I'm going to go ahead and paint all the tree trunks. So now I'm going to go in with this yellow marker, paint marker, and I'm going to create the stand that is very typical with this Charlie Brown Christmas tree, this like wood slat stand. So I'm just going to draw this real quick. So now I'm going to go in with another Waverly chalk paint in the color hazelnut, and I will fill in the wood slats with this color. So now I'm going to use some of these pom-poms from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to create the little ornament that is supposed to be on the end of the tree, the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. So I'm going to use 3 of the large pom-poms and 2 of the mid-sized pom-poms. And I'm going to create the ornaments. I'm also going to use these findings that I had left over from previous projects to be the tops of my ornaments. So for the large pom-poms, I'll use these silver, I don't even know what they came off of, but they came off something. They were in my scrap bucket with all my extra pieces. So I'm just going to utilize them and turn them into and use them for an ornament. So I think it looks pretty cute. And then for the smaller ones, I use the leftover wood buttons that came off of one of the gingerbread men that I turned into a gingerbread girl. So she didn't need the buttons. So I use those for the smaller ones. And then I just glued it onto the canvases, and that's it. And I wanted to finish off my project with a quote from the movie, my favorite quote from the Charlie Brown Christmas movie. So I'm taking this 5x7 canvas from the Dollar Tree, and using my Cricut, I created a vinyl for this canvas with my favorite quote from the movie. And the quote is, "It's not what's under the Christmas tree that matters, it's who's around it." I love that quote. So I'm just going to simply stick this on my canvas, and I'm done. And now onto the movie Klaus. Okay, so for this movie, I decided to focus on the forest because the forest really intrigued me in this movie. So I'm taking some of these tumbling tower blocks, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach 3 at a time, and I'm going to create a grouping of 3 trees. So this tree is going to be the large tree, then I'll be making a medium-sized tree, and then I'll be making a smaller tree. So I'm just going to attach 3 tumbling tower blocks at a time in a grouping in a straight line, and I'm going to do about 5 rows of these. I believe it's 5 rows. And then I'll start attaching them at the top and to a point, and so they'll all be together in a grouping of 5 all in a point to create the tree. And now I'll set that aside and work on my small tree. And this one is just 1 to 1 at a point. And I think I do 6 rows of the 1 to 1. Then once I'm done with those, I'll just set those aside real quick. And I'll work on my mid-sized tree, and that one is a grouping of 2 by 2. And I think I do 5 rows. Okay, so now I'm done attaching them, and I'm going to take one of these wooden dowels from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put a bead of glue down the center of all of these pieces, and I don't even glue them together. Like, they're all actually still loose on there, but all the glue and the dowel is going to hold them all together just fine. See? And then I'll just reinforce it with a little bit more glue down the 2 sides of the wooden dowel, because I want to make sure nothing falls apart on me. So there's my 3 little trees. Now all I have to do is assemble them on my base. So for my base, I'm going to use this piece of wood that I had in my backyard, and it already has 2 holes. Okay, so now here are my 3 holes. So now I'm going to stage my trees to see where I want to put them. I want to put the big one in the center towards the back, and I want to put the 2 other ones up front. So I'm going to add some glue into the hole, and I'm just going to push it in there and hold it for a second until it dries, and then reinforce it on the bottom with some more glue, and until it dries completely. It doesn't take long. Then I take my next one, but I want it at a different height. So I go ahead and cut some of the wooden dowel because I don't want it to be the same length. I want my trees to be different lengths. So I add some glue to the hole and then put the mid-sized tree in there, and it fits perfectly. So now I'm going to cut my smaller tree, and I'm going to cut it just a little bit smaller and add some more glue to the hole and put the tree in there. And so far I'm really liking it. And look, it's looking cute. Okay, so now I have some of these little stars from the Dollar Tree, these little wooden stars, and they got glitter, but I was fine with the glitter. So I'm going to use this little deer and the stars to embellish it. Now I'm taking some of these wooden planks. I'm just taking one, and I'm going to cut it to a certain size because I'm about to make a little sign for my trees that goes with the movie. Now I'm going to get a vinyl that I created on my Cricut, and it's got the famous quote from the movie that I thought was so cute. And the quote is, "A true selfless act sparks another." I thought that was so cute, so I had to make it a part of this video. So here are my group of trees, and so I'm going to adhere it to the large tree, and I'm adding a couple of the tumbling tower blocks so the sign will be raised a little bit, and it'll help hold the other 2 trees as well. And then just press the sign on there, and it's done. And now onto the movie Elf. We're going to recreate our DIY elf on a shelf, and all you need is one of these elf tabletop decor. They're MDF from the Dollar Tree, and some of the little legs, the elf legs that you can find at the Dollar Tree as well in the ornament section. And this particular one I actually found at Family Dollar. But you know, Family Dollar and Dollar Tree, they're like sister stores. So they're kind of related. So anyway, all you do is take the 2 pieces and take the legs and center it on the bottom of the block, and with a staple gun just staple them down. 1 staple here, 1 staple there, and pretty much that is it. And you have a quick little elf on a shelf. You could put on a shelf, or you could put on a stump, or you could put on candle holder like I did. I had an extra one of these gingerbread houses from the Dollar Tree, the wood plaques, and I had actually already painted the roof and the windows white with chalk paint, and so now I'm taking some of this apple barrel color Christmas green, and I'm going to paint the body of the house in this green color, and I'm going to give it a couple coats. So in the movie Elf, it takes place in the North Pole. It begins there, and so that's why I decided to make a quick little elf house to represent the North Pole, even though it might not be exactly where he lived, but you know, it's gonna be elf. So now I'm taking this crimson paint, chalk paint from Waverly, and I'm going to paint the actual windows, but I'm gonna leave the bottom portion, the snowy portion, I'm gonna leave that white. So here I'm taking this little door ornament from the Dollar Tree, and I want to use the door for the elf house, but it's too large, so I begin with trying to just cut it in half. So here I'm going to line it up. The door is kind of like not really proportioned to the house and the windows. It's kind of like a Hobbit elf house. So here I'm going to repurpose this. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on the very top of the house, and I'm going to add this very bright greenery and the little berries that were on it. Now I'm going to go in with my white chalk paint. So I'm going to go ahead and add some snow on the bottom because I feel like this will give it a better look. It'll look a little bit more festive, snowy. So I'll just take my time and try to do my own little snowbanks. Here I'm going to take some of these, they're like foam rollers, and some of this candy cane looking fabric that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, fat quarter. And I'm going to use these rollers, these hair rollers, and I'm going to turn them into an arch, an elf arch. I'm just going to quickly measure. I figured it's about 2 inches. This is about 2 inches wide. And so I put a dab of glue in the center on each and allow it to dry. I don't mess with it too much. So now I go to the first one that's nice and dry and it's perfect. And I'll add some more glue to one side and close it up. And then I'll add another dab of glue, another bead of glue on the other side. And I'll close it up. Here it is, here's one done. So now I'm just going to join them together with a little bit of glue. And I'm going to let them dry for a little bit. I don't want to mess with them too much. I want them to dry. And then I go ahead and start forming the arch. And see what I mean? Look how easy this stuff bends. Oh, this stuff is wonderful. Trying to get it proportionally correct. I'm happy with it. And here's another little piece. So add a little dab of glue in the center and put my little bow and greenery on there, and it's done. And here's my little setup. And finally, onto the movie It's a Wonderful Life. What I did was take one of these Dollar Tree candle holders, these ceramic ones, and I'm taking some of this Dollar Tree fabric, and I'm trying to measure enough to go around the whole candle holder, which I ended up being 12 inches by 12 inches. And so I go ahead and cut that out, a 12-inch by 12-inch square. I'm going to encase this candle holder with this fabric. So I'm going to add a little dab of glue and put the edge of the fabric to the edge, bottom edge of the candle holder, and I'm going to turn it around the opposite end, pull it a little snug, tight, and glue it, and I do that to all four sides. Now I'm taking some of this really cute ribbon, this lacy ribbon. I wanted to use something lacy because I am making an angel, and angels to me are so pretty and delicate and dainty. And I know in the movie the angel was a male, Clarence, but I wanted this little angel to be part of my decor in my home, so she's going to be a female. Yes, I'm just changing it up a little bit, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm adding some little lace on the bottom edge of her little dress, and so this is like a real quick way to make her a little dress. Just drape some fabric on the candle holder and give her a little waist, a little belt with some ribbon, some lacy ribbon, and then the edges on the bottom, and her little dress is done. So now I'm taking this orb, this ceramic orb that I had on hand from the Dollar Tree, and I'm taking some jingle bells that I also purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I take a few, maybe about 3, and I'm going to put those inside of her little head because she is going to be jingle belling, or should I say, like in the movie, when you hear the bell, an angel gets her wings, or gets his wings. So I was going to use some felt that I had on hand, but I couldn't find it, so I ended up just putting the sticker back on just to hold the bells in place. So here I'm just going to add some glue and just put that on top, and it holds it just fine. So here I'm going to add some more of those little jingle bells, and I'm going to add them to the very bottom of the candle holder. Add some glue, put the sticker back on. Again, if you happen to have some felt, that would be better. And here's the little wings that Dollar Tree also carries. These particular ones are from Family Dollar, but Dollar Tree does carry some. And just put a couple dabs of glue, and the little wings are on. So simple, so easy. Just add enough glue to secure it in place. The little wings are done. So now I'm taking some of this wire jute twine, and I'm going to wrap it around this pen, but you can use a wooden dowel, a pencil, anything, any kind of form. I'm giving her some curly hair, and I didn't have a lot of this jute twine, this wire jute twine, so she's getting 2 strands. Anyway, I'm just forming her little hair to kind of form her head, and I'm going to kind of fix her little split ends. I'm just adding some little glue, a little bit of glue to help secure all the little ends so they won't fray so much. And so now it's just a matter of putting some hot glue on top of her head and the little strands of the curly cues. Put the longer one in the back and the shorter one up front. And now I'm going to go in with some more of that ribbon and give her a little bow for her hair, just to make her extra cutesy. So just a tiny little bow made from this cute little white lacy ribbon, but you could use any kind of ribbon you'd like. And so just put a little dab of glue on her head and place it on there, and she's looking so cute. So now I decided to give her like a little kind of a halo kind of effect, just to give her a little bit more prettiness. And so I take some of this white berry garland that's wired, and I just take a nice little portion and kind of double it up a little bit and just form her a quick little wreath for her head, or a little halo. It could be a halo or a wreath, whatever, however you would like to think of it as. But I just wanted something decorative to kind of go on her back since she doesn't have a lot of hair. So I just put a little dab of glue, secure it in place, and she is done. And I left her face alone. Oh, we'll hear her ring. Look, she's got her wings. And I left her face alone. I left it plain, kind of like those willow, I forget what they're called, those sculptures that they don't have a face. I just kind of left it kind of classy. But look how cute she is. She is so cute and so easy. And this is my take on It's a Wonderful Life. When you hear the bell, an angel gets its wings. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and these DIYs to celebrate some of these wonderful Christmas movies, classic and fun. These DIYs were a lot of fun to create, and please let me know in the comments which one was your favorite one. And if you enjoyed them, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. Lots more videos are coming this month. And until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great, great day. Bye-bye, and Merry Christmas!